There is something about late July evenings that makes old memories feel closer than they really are. Perhaps it's the smell of sun-warmed grass lingering over the fields long after the light has faded. Perhaps it's the slow chorus of crickets filling the silence without ever breaking it. Or perhaps time grows quieter as we grow older, until all it has left are memories. I have a place where I go whenever life begins to speak louder than my own thoughts. A small meadow at the edge of the village. A narrow river runs beside it, never in a hurry, never asking permission to keep moving. I've watched that river for more years than I care to admit. As a young man, I believed it was always the same river. Now, I know better. The river changes every second. It only pretends to stay the same. Perhaps people do that too. That evening, the air was heavy with summer heat. Even the trees seemed too tired to move. I sat on the old wooden bench overlooking the water, listening to the soft current sliding over the stones. When you've lived long enough, you stop searching for silence. You begin searching for places where silence feels honest. I heard footsteps behind me, slow, uncertain. I didn't turn around. Some people become so familiar that their footsteps carry their name long before their voice ever does. He sat beside me. Neither of us spoke. The years had taught us that not every silence needs rescuing. Sometimes words arrive too early and scare away the truth. So we watched the river. A dragonfly hovered above the water. Somewhere across the field, a dog barked once and then gave up, as if even he had decided the evening deserved its peace. After several minutes, he picked up a small stone and tossed it into the river. The circles spread slowly across the surface. "I used to think those ripples disappeared," he said quietly. "They don't," I smiled. "They simply become part of the river." He nodded, but I could tell he hadn't come to talk about rivers. He had come because there are burdens a man can carry for years, until one ordinary day they suddenly become too heavy for one pair of shoulders. "I heard something yesterday." His voice barely rose above the sound of the water. I waited. At our age, people don't interrupt each other. They've learned that the hardest sentences often need courage before they need listeners. Finally, he spoke. "She came back." There was no name. There didn't have to be. Some people leave your life, but never completely leave your heart. I kept my eyes on the river. "When?" "A few months ago." "You've known for months?" "Yes." "And you're only telling me now?" He looked away. "I thought the feeling would pass." "Did it?" He gave the smallest shake of his head. "No." The evening seemed to grow even quieter, not because the world had changed, because something inside him had. "I heard she got divorced," he continued. "She moved back into her parents' house." His words sounded strangely empty, as though he had repeated them to himself 100 times before bringing them to me. Then he asked the question that had followed him all the way across the village. "What would you do?" I didn't answer, not immediately. People often believe wisdom is having quick answers. It isn't. Wisdom is knowing which questions deserve a long silence before they're answered. I bent forward, picked up a smooth stone from the grass, and turned it slowly between my fingers. "You know," I said at last, "the older I get, the less I trust first feelings." He frowned. "What do you mean?" "I've seen too many people mistake an old wound for unfinished love." He looked at me without speaking. "The heart has a strange habit," I continued. "It doesn't always miss the person. Sometimes it simply misses the version of itself that existed when that person was still there." He lowered his eyes. For the first time that evening, I wasn't sure whether I was speaking to him or to a younger version of myself. The river kept flowing, as though it had heard conversations like ours 1,000 times before.